Confidence that lasts a lifetime isn't something taught in schools. It's a culture, a quiet code passed down through generations. Old money families have mastered this art. They don't raise children to appear confident. They raise them to be confident, the kind that stays steady through success, failure, and time itself. Their secret lies in lessons that evolve as their children grow. These are the invisible rituals that shape composure in youth and resilience in adulthood. So, if you've ever wondered how certain people walk through life with an ease that feels untouchable, you're about to find out why. And if you love understanding the hidden psychology of elegance, wealth, and legacy, make sure you subscribe to The Luxury Lane before we continue. Rule number 1. They are taught that confidence is a duty, not a display. Old money confidence isn't performative. It's quiet, graceful, and expected. From childhood, they're told that how they carry themselves reflects the entire family. Slouching, mumbling, and boasting are all signs of negligence, not modesty. This isn't pressure, it's purpose. Children learn that their composure honors generations before them. When you see an old money individual walk calmly through chaos, it's not arrogance, it's duty. They're upholding a standard that was never optional, and that's the beauty of it. Their confidence doesn't come from proving who they are, it comes from remembering who they represent. Rule number 2. They master the art of self-reliance. In many wealthy families, comfort is abundant, but in old money families, dependence is discouraged. Children are taught early that their privileges are borrowed, not guaranteed. They may inherit wealth, but they must earn independence. That's why many are sent to boarding schools, summer work programs, or internships in family foundations. Not for prestige, but for practice. The goal isn't rebellion, it's resilience. They're taught to do things on their own. Handle setbacks, manage allowances, resolve conflicts. They learn that their name may open doors, but only their actions can keep them open. When you grow up proving your own capability, even inside a safety net, you carry a quiet sense of assurance that money can't inflate or erase. Rule number 3. They see discipline as freedom. Most people think discipline is restrictive. But old money families teach the opposite. Discipline, they say, is what frees you from chaos. It's what allows you to move through life without being controlled by emotion, appetite, or impulse. A child who wakes up on time, dresses neatly, and fulfills commitments learns to trust themselves. That trust becomes confidence. They don't need external validation to feel accomplished. Their own habits confirm their reliability. Old money parents often repeat this phrase: routine is your protection from disorder. By adulthood, that structure becomes self-soothing. They don't panic in unpredictability because discipline has already taught them how to remain steady when life isn't. Rule number 4. They learn that true wealth is measured in grace. While new money celebrates visibility, old money celebrates restraint. Children are taught early that showing off wealth is a sign of insecurity, not success. They're reminded that grace is how wealth behaves when it's comfortable. You won't see them flaunt brands or boast about achievements. They understand that understated elegance whispers louder than excess ever could. But the deeper lesson here isn't aesthetic, it's psychological. Grace means you never need to prove you belong. And when belonging is internalized, confidence becomes effortless. Rule number 5. They are raised around multi-generational wisdom. One of the greatest advantages of old money isn't financial, it's generational. Children grow up surrounded by grandparents, uncles, mentors, each adding perspective, patience, and stories of past triumphs and mistakes. They hear tales of ancestors who built fortunes, lost them, and rebuilt them again. Lessons in perseverance disguised as family history. This environment teaches them that identity doesn't depend on current success. It's built on endurance. When you've grown up knowing your family survived wars, depressions, and scandals, you stop fearing temporary losses. That perspective turns anxiety into calm authority. It's not arrogance, it's historical confidence. Rule number 6, they are schooled in financial responsibility, not indulgence. Old money parents discuss money, but not emotionally. Children learn about budgeting, investment, taxes, and philanthropy in simple, factual terms. They're shown the value of stewardship, that money's purpose is to preserve, protect, and serve, not to flaunt. Allowances are often tied to responsibilities. Spending is questioned, not forbidden. Do you need it or do you want it? By learning to manage resources early, they develop a rational detachment. They respect wealth, but they're not owned by it. And that's where their confidence in financial matters comes from understanding, not abundance. They're calm with money because they control it. And control in the old money world is confidence. Rule number 7. They understand the power of delayed gratification. While much of the world glorifies instant results, old money children grow up surrounded by delayed rewards. They wait for birthdays to get gifts. They earn privileges through performance, not requests. This slow satisfaction builds patience, the hidden muscle behind lasting success. Parents reinforce the idea that anything worthwhile takes time, an education, a reputation, a fortune. And that patience becomes emotional stability. When you've learned to wait calmly for what you want, you stop fearing the process. That's why old money individuals move through life with such steady confidence. They trust timing. Rule number 8. They are surrounded by quiet examples of strength. In old money families, strength rarely looks loud. Fathers, mothers, and grandparents model calm leadership. They don't yell, boast, or compete. When crises happen, voices don't rise. When victories come, celebrations stay private. Children grow up observing this calm authority and naturally internalize it. They learn that leadership doesn't need volume. As adults, they mirror what they saw: patience in decision-making, restraint in reaction, and dignity in defeat. It's the kind of power that doesn't demand, it draws. Rule number 9. They are reminded that reputation is wealth. Guard your name more carefully than your fortune. That's an old money maxim that never fades. Children are taught that character, not cash, is what endures. Every word, action, and association contributes to, or diminishes, the family legacy. This creates an internal compass. They don't chase trends or reckless ambitions because they know reputation takes decades to build and seconds to destroy. And here's the twist. This awareness doesn't make them fearful. It makes them deliberate. Deliberation is confidence in motion. They don't rush decisions, they don't react to rumors, and they don't need to correct every misunderstanding. Their reputation does the speaking. Rule number 10. They learn that leadership means service. From a young age, old money children are taught that real influence comes not from being served, but from serving. They volunteer, they donate, they sit quietly beside those with less, learning empathy firsthand. Parents make it clear wealth is a responsibility, not a right. This creates a balance between confidence and compassion. They can command respect without losing humility. They learn that power without kindness is insecurity disguised as dominance, and that service isn't charity, it's stewardship. When your purpose is rooted in service, your confidence becomes unbreakable, because it's no longer about ego, it's about contribution. Rule number 11. They are trained to stay composed under pressure. Old money parents often test their children in small, deliberate ways. A broken promise, a changed plan, a sudden disappointment. These aren't acts of cruelty, they're training in emotional balance. They want their children to understand that frustration is part of life, and how one reacts determines maturity. If a child cries when something doesn't go their way, the parent doesn't rush to soothe. They calmly say, "Take a moment," then decide what to do next. Through hundreds of quiet lessons like this, children internalize the most powerful form of control: composure. And as adults, they don't flinch under pressure. They pause, breathe, and respond, never react. That's why in boardrooms and crises, they radiate stillness. It's not rehearsed, it's inherited behavior. Rule number 12. They're raised to respect solitude. In old money culture, solitude is sacred. Children are encouraged to spend time alone, reading, journaling, walking, reflecting. Parents teach that comfort in solitude means mastery of the self. They learn that silence sharpens thought and that reflection deepens decision-making. While others chase constant connection, old money individuals understand that solitude strengthens confidence. Because when you can be alone without anxiety, you no longer depend on others for validation. That independence, mental and emotional, is one of the quietest yet strongest forms of power. Rule number 13. They are reminded that composure is louder than words. Old money children are told early, the loudest person in the room is usually the weakest. They observe their parents speaking softly yet commanding attention. They notice that a calm tone disarms arguments faster than volume ever could. Over time, they learn that authority doesn't come from word. It comes from presence. Whether at social gatherings, in classrooms, or later in leadership roles, they understand that stillness creates gravity. They don't chase the spotlight. The spotlight naturally turns toward them. Rule number 14. They are exposed to discomfort on purpose. You might think wealth shelters old money children from hardship. In truth, the opposite is often true. Parents deliberately introduce controlled discomfort. Cold morning routines, outdoor sports in the rain, long hikes, difficult teachers, limited luxuries at school. These small hardships build endurance, the kind that money can't buy. By adulthood, they're not thrown off by delayed flights, harsh feedback, or public criticism. They've been taught that comfort weakens the spirit and discomfort strengthens it. And that mindset of embracing challenge instead of fleeing from it forms the foundation of lifelong confidence. Rule number 15. They are raised to separate emotion from action. In old money homes, you'll often hear the phrase, feel everything. Show little that doesn't mean suppression. It means strategy. Children are taught that emotions are private tools, not public weapons. You can feel anger, disappointment, or frustration, but you decide how those feelings express themselves. Parents model this constantly. They don't lash out or argue impulsively. They wait until emotion cools, then address the issue with precision. This emotional control becomes instinctual. By adulthood, these individuals are respected not because they never feel, but because they never lose control. And when you trust yourself not to unravel, confidence becomes your natural state. Rule number 16. They are taught that loyalty is legacy. Old money families are fiercely loyal to their name, their people, and their principles. Children learn early that loyalty isn't blind obedience. It's integrity. It means honoring commitments, keeping confidences, and standing by those who stood by you. Breaking trust, gossiping, or betraying a friend for convenience are seen as deeply uncivilized acts. This ingrained loyalty builds reputation, but it also builds self-respect. Because when you live by a code and one that doesn't shift with the crowd, you become unshakable. Confidence comes from alignment. Your values, your actions, and your words all move together. Rule number 17. They learn to prioritize character over image. In old money parenting, appearance is important, but character is everything. Children are corrected not for stained clothes or untidy hair, but for dishonesty, arrogance, or cruelty. Parents emphasize that appearance earns attention, but character earns respect. They're told, style fades. Reputation doesn't. Charm opens doors. Integrity keeps them open. This belief system shields them from the insecurity that comes from chasing approval. When you define yourself by who you are, not how you're perceived, no rumor, insult, or criticism can shake your confidence. Rule number 18. They're surrounded by subtle mentorship. Old money isn't just raised, it's mentored. Children grow up observing family friends who are judges, professors, diplomats, and business leaders. These figures model excellence without ostentation, competence without noise. They teach through presence, not preaching. This quiet exposure expands the child's sense of possibility. It shows them that leadership doesn't need spectacle. And as they mature, they replicate that calm gravitas, leading by steadiness rather than ego. They don't need to announce ambition. They embody it. Rule number 19. They are encouraged to see privilege as stewardship. Privilege in old money culture comes with responsibility. Children are reminded, you are not better than anyone, but you have more to give. They're taught that confidence without humility becomes arrogance, and privilege without purpose becomes poison. This awareness creates balanced ambition, the desire to achieve and contribute. By adulthood, they feel grounded, not guilty, about their advantages, because they've been raised to use them wisely. Their calm confidence comes from knowing they are caretakers of opportunity, not consumers of it. Rule number 20. They learn that confidence is continuity. In modern culture, confidence is treated like a performance, something you project when needed. But in old money families, confidence is continuity. It's the natural byproduct of living in alignment with long-standing values. It's built from repetition, respect, discretion, discipline, practiced daily until it becomes identity. They don't need affirmations or attention. Their assurance comes from living the same code that their parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents did. That's why, even when fortunes fade or times change, that quiet confidence never leaves them. Because it was never built on circumstance, and it was built on character. Rule number 21. They understand that dignity is the final luxury. If there's one rule that crowns them all, it's this: dignity is priceless. You can lose wealth, property, even reputation. But if you keep your dignity, you remain untouchable. Old money parents repeat this lesson in countless ways. How they argue, how they forgive, how they walk away. They teach that dignity means restraint when provoked, gratitude when blessed, and composure when challenged. It's not just an attitude, it's the highest expression of self-respect. And that's the core of unshakable confidence. When your dignity can't be bought or broken, neither can your peace. That's how confidence becomes legacy. The rest doesn't matter.